All right, guys, welcome to the Book of Nature, Part 2. This is prophets and religious figures. Who do we have first on the list? Well, what do you know? It's me, Caleb. Yeah, prove myself first. Caleb is a representative of the tribe of Judah during the journey to the Promised Land. Following the Israelite conquest of Canaan, Caleb was described as a Kenizzite and is said to have received lands originally intended for the tribe of Judah. From the accounts of the life of Caleb, we see a faithful man who trusted God to fulfill his promises when others allowed their fears to override their small faith. Even into his later years, Caleb remained steadfast in his faith. God blessed Caleb for his faithfulness and patience. An encouragement to us to believe in God. Like Caleb, we should be prepared to follow God in every circumstance, patiently waiting for him to fulfill his promises and ready to act when time is right. The burial site of Caleb is located at Kifl Harris in the West Bank. King David. David was a Jewish monarch of ancient Israel and the third king of Israel. David ascended the throne as the king of Judah in 885 BCE. The Chaldean stele is a fragmentary stele containing a Canaanite inscription which dates to the 9th century BCE. It is notable for possibly being the most significant, perhaps the only, extra-biblical archaeological reference to the House of David. Chaldean stele dated 850 BC and corroborates House of David family line documented in books of Samuel and Kings. Abraham. Abraham is the common Hebrew patriarch of the Abrahamic religions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. He is the founding father of the special relationship between the Jews and God. Abraham is the spiritual progenitor of all believers. In Islam, he is a link in the chain of Islamic prophets that begins with Adam and culminates in Muhammad. Abraham is also revered in other Abrahamic religions, such as the Druze faith and the Baha'i faith. Abraham's well is the water well in Beersheba, Israel, associated with Islam. Associated with Abraham. King Nebuchadnezzar II. Nebuchadnezzar II is known as the greatest king of the Chaldean dynasty of Babylonia. He conquered Syria and Palestine and made Babylon a splendid city. He destroyed the Temple of Jerusalem and initiated the Babylonian captivity of the Jewish population. A portion of the tower of the Babel stele, depicting Nebuchadnezzar on the right and featuring a depiction of Babylon's great ziggurat on the left. You got Judas. Judas Iscariot was a first century Jewish man who became a disciple and one of the original 12 apostles. He is notorious for betraying Jesus by disclosing Jesus' whereabouts for 30 pieces of silver. Judas brought men to arrest Jesus and identify him with a kiss. Jesus was then arrested, tried, and executed. Field of Blood is the traditional site where Jesus Iscariot died. It's located in the valley of Hinnom near Jerusalem. Caiaphas. Joseph Caiaphas was the high priest during the years of Jesus' ministry. The Gospels of Matthew, Luke, and John indicate he was an organizer of the plot to kill Jesus. He famously presided over the Sanhedrin trial of Jesus. The Caiaphas ossuary is a highly decorated ossuary twice inscribed Joseph, son of Caiaphas. Caiaphas was the Jewish high priest during the years of Jesus' ministry, according to Josephus. Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate was the fifth governor of the Roman province of Judea, serving under Emperor Tiberius from 2627 to 3637 AD. He is best known for being the official who presided over the trial of Jesus and ultimately ordered his crucifixion. The Pilate stone is a damaged block of carved limestone with a partially intact inscription attributed to and mentioning Pontius Pilate, a prefect of the Roman province of Judea from AD 26 to 36. It was discovered at the archaeological site of Caesarea Maritima in 1961. Muhammad. Muhammad was a religious leader and the founder of Islam. Islam believes that Muhammad was the prophet divinely inspired to preach and confirm the monotheistic teachings of Abraham, Adam, Moses, Jesus, and other prophets. The tomb of Prophet Muhammad is a small enclosure inside the Prophet's mosque where Prophet Muhammad and two of his companions are buried. So the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, also known as Buddha, was a wandering ascetic and religious teacher who lived in South Asia during the 6th or 5th century BC and founded Buddhism. When the Buddha died at Kushinagar in the Deoria district of Uttar Pradesh, the legends report that his body was cremated and his ashes were divided into 8 parts. The parts were distributed into 8 communities of his followers. The Parinirvana Stupa is a Buddhist temple in Kushinagar, India, which is said to be the place of death of Gautama Buddha, the founder of Buddhism. Confucius, born Kong Kui, was a Chinese philosopher of the spring and autumn period who is traditionally considered the paragon of Chinese sages, as well as the first teacher in China to advocate for its mass education. His thoughts on ethics, good behavior, and moral character were written down by his disciples in several books, the most important being in the Lun Yu. Confucianism believes in ancestor worship and human-centered virtues for living a peaceful life. The cemetery of Confucius is a cemetery of the Kong clan in Confucius' hometown, Khufu, in Shandong province. Confucius himself and some of his disciples are buried there, as well as many thousands of his descendants. So this concludes the Book of Nature Part 2, Prophets and Religious Figures. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I will be back with more videos. We have 2 more projects of the Book of Nature. So I will see you all later.